Hi everybody, namaste. Welcome to week 9 of the sequence. So I'm thinking today we could go a little bit faster, we could speed it up a little bit. If you've done all the classes, or at least most of them, you might be feeling ready for that. I've heard from Kelly, who's told me her chaturanga is just all coming together. So I reckon we're ready for it. If you feel like if we do go a little bit too fast and you think, ooh, I don't know if I can keep up, just let me know and I'll make one of the earlier ones available to you. So come into either constructive rest position if you prefer, otherwise Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together. And apologies in advance about my cough that won't go away. It's very annoying, probably is to do with carpet, could be a bit of dog hair. I've got an extra dog and she's a little bit more furry, or it could be a little allergy, I don't know. Just one of those coughs that won't go away until, maybe sometimes they can last about 3 months, so we'll see. So just check in, notice how everything is feeling for you at this particular moment in time. And if you do this check-in regularly, you'll notice that not only does your body feel different on different days, but it's also different times of the day. You have a bit more flexibility maybe in the afternoon or in the evening, but then maybe you're somebody who feels a bit more relaxed in the morning. Okay, so all these reasons as to why our body might feel different, including what we've eaten and also hormone levels. So in the morning you'll have a little bit more cortisol, because cortisol helps you deal with stress, and as the day goes on here she goes, the cortisol levels go down and the adrenaline levels go up. And that's why, even though people say you should never sleep before when you want to discuss something, sometimes you are better off waiting until the next day, because you can be a bit more rational in the morning and you're a little bit more emotional at night. You can argue about silly things. So if there's something that you want to discuss with your other half, maybe the morning is better. If you want to do intense exercise, the morning is better. That's why yoga's quite a useful thing to practice in the evening, as opposed to going to the gym maybe, or going for a run. So just notice and be aware, become aware of all your body stiff bits, any injuries, special conditions, and make that resolve, so that whatever it is that you end up doing, it's going to be the thing that feels the most useful to you at that particular moment in time. You can start to lengthen your breath when you're ready. So remember, we're more focused on the inhale. The inhale begins in the lower part of the belly. So you just might try gently pushing down on the pelvic floor first, and then taking that little sip of air in, and then following the breath, or the majority of the breath, into the main part of the belly. So the navel lifts away from the floor and up towards the ceiling. And then a little bit into the lower chest, tiny bit more into the collarbone. So a complete inhalation is only ever 3/4 of a lungful. And a passive exhale, which we're doing for the sake of this exercise, is where you just relax and the breath comes out naturally. And this will happen in your practice as well, in your physical practice. This is something that you can, maybe start to notice. When your arms go up, you will tend to inhale, and when you fold forward, you will tend to exhale. So today I might invite you to, when you remember, when your arms go up, once your arms are up, then inhale and see how much air is left in the lungs, not how much space you have left in your lungs. It won't be much. And when you bring your arms to the floor and you go to exhale, you'll notice that once your hands are down on the floor or near the floor, there's not much air left to exhale. Okay, so this is why movement is really good, because it brings air in and out without you having to think about it. If I say breathe in, breathe out all the time, too much breathing will happen. Okay, you're breathing. I don't need to remind you. Complete the exhalation that you're on. Bring your knees together if they're not together already. Press your toes, your heels, and the soles of your feet firmly down into your mat. Lift the pubic bone slightly. Bring your chin in. And if it feels better for you, bring one knee at a time to your armpit. So toes are close, knees are wide. Relax the spine, relax the belly, relax the ribs. And when you're ready, hold on to your shins and bring your knees a little bit closer to your armpits, but without forcing. And then create some resistance by pushing the shins into the palms and the palms into the shins, and then relax. That might feel a little bit easier. Fish pose, Matsyasana. Broaden across the upper back. Press the shoulder blades down. Bring the chin in and relax the belly. And then expand the tummy on the inhalation. So feel as if you're lifting the front of the body up while pressing the shoulder blades down. And then relax, allowing the back of the body to gently sink back towards the mat. And this time, bringing the arms in between the thighs and pushing the arms into the inner thighs and the inner thighs back into the arms, and relax. And then taking the palms to the outer knees and pushing the outer knees into the palms and the palms into the outer knees, and relax. Bring the knees together, popping the arms down by the side. Let's give the hips a bit of a wiggle from the left to the right side. And if you prefer to continue moving side to side, then you can do that. Otherwise, you could start to move in a little bit of a circle so that each of the four corners of your lower back are gently connecting with the mat. Let's take it back, opposite direction. And bringing the knees in, giving the hips one last wiggle from the left to the right side. Anchor your left foot on the mat. Push into the ball of your right foot. And we're going to take the knee slightly left, slightly straight, and out to the right. So we're doing circles and making sure always that there's form involved. We're not just flinging our limbs or whatever it is into outer space. Focusing always on the movement or the exercise. And relaxing what can be relaxed. Let's take it back, opposite direction. And bringing your right thigh nice and close to the chest. Taking the right leg straight, 10 centimeters off the mat. Let's do ankle rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's do some one-legged bicycles. And let's go in the opposite direction. Let's go into a happy baby. So we're going to take the right knee as if to the right armpit and imagine we're balancing something on the sole of the right foot. Just make sure to keep checking in and noticing whether there is tension creeping in where it's not really helpful. And circles. So we're going to draw our imaginary circles in a clockwise direction to begin with. And we're going to finish off in a crisscross. So I'm going to have that right leg over there on the left, and the left knee over there on the right. And you can stay like this, or you can do the add-ons, one of the add-ons or all of the add-ons. So left leg maybe to the right side, fingertips to the bottom of the mat. And you can leave your head where it is, or you expand the tummy on the inhale, chin to chest, peel the upper body off the mat. So let's do 40. Are you ready? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Relax. Coming back down, anchor your left foot. And this time, our circles will be in an anti-clockwise direction. Keep the chin in, face, neck and throat nice and soft. We're going to get ready for the upside down, upside down pigeon. Pushing into the ball of the right foot, imagining as you bend your knee that you're trying to get your right knee to the lower right hand corner of your mat and your heel to your left ear. Stay like that if your right knee is sore, because the next one may not make it feel any better. Otherwise, left foot off the floor and gently but firmly push the ankle into the thigh and resist back. So if you want a little bit more of that feeling, that intense sensation in the right hip, you could take your legs over to the left side. Just slightly try and breathe into it. And then we'll do the wiggly thing from left to right. So with the next exercise, if it feels better for your back, you can keep your left foot flat on your mat. Otherwise, you straighten your left leg into the mat, anchoring the left heel, making the left leg long, and with your interlinked hands around your right shin, let's do something that resembles a fish pose by pressing the shoulder blades down, but imagining that we're trying to get the front of the body up towards the ceiling, so the middle spine lifts away from the mat again, and then relax. Allow the back of the body to sink back down. Now take your fingertips to the bottom of the mat, moving your shoulders away from your ears, and you can leave your head where it is, or another sit up, expanding the tummy on the inhale, peeling the upper body off the mat, possibly lift the left leg off the floor, but I wouldn't do that if my head was on the floor because it feels horrible. Swap your legs over, so right leg straight, left thigh to the chest, and from here we're going into the banana stretch, and we're bananaing to the left side. So the right leg goes over to the left, you're anchoring the heel, the right glute, squeezing the left thigh to the side ribs, but creating that resistance that we've talked about in the last few weeks. And leave the right arm where it is if that's better for your shoulder, or just roll that right arm across the body so it stays nice and long. And then maybe look towards the left. That is my right armpit, I'm sorry. So to try and soften the breath in towards the lower right side of your abdomen. You'll feel that stiffness there. That's your hip flexor. And carefully bring the right arm down. Slowly turn your head. Gently bring the right thigh back. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle. So let's try the second side. Anchor your right foot, left thigh to the chest, pushing into the ball of your left foot. So the knee's going to go right, straighten a little bit, and out to the left. Circles. And opposite direction. And bringing the left thigh back in and taking your left leg straight, so it's 10 centimeters off the floor. Let's do the ankle rotations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's do the one-legged bicycles. And back. And happy baby. So left knee as if to the left armpit. Imagine that you're balancing something on the sole of your left foot. Relax. And when you're ready to draw the imaginary circles with your left leg, this time we're beginning in an anti-clockwise direction. Let's finish off in that crisscross. So that means the left leg is over there on the right side. The right knee is over there on the left, and you can stay there or do one or more of the add-ons. Right leg to the left, fingertips to the bottom of the mat. Leave your head where it is, or expand the tummy on the inhale. Peel the upper body off the mat. Let's do another 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Relax, coming back down. Anchor your right foot, and this time our circles will be in a clockwise direction. Happy, oh no, it's not happy baby, is it? It is the pigeon. So when you're ready, we're going to push into the ball of the left foot, bend the left knee, and imagine that this left foot is or the left heel at least, is trying to touch the right ear, and the left knee is moving to the lower left-hand corner of your mat. So how does that feel? For me, it feels like my left hip is quite stiff. If your knee is sore, stick with this one. Otherwise, you can bring the right foot off the mat. Be careful for your knee though, and push the ankle into the thigh, and the thigh can push back into the ankle. So yeah, definitely my hip feels stiff on this side. Now you might want a little bit more of that intense sensation. You could take your legs over to the right side slightly, and then we'll give it the wigglies. It's funny how you get one stiffer hip than the other, isn't it? Maybe not. We're all a bit dominant on one side maybe. So, as I said before, you could make the next one a bit more comfortable if you've got a sore back by having your right foot flat on the mat. Otherwise, straighten your right leg if it feels okay. Lengthen into the right heel, and with your interlinked hands around your left shin, let's do a variation on the fish pose by pushing shoulder blades down, but lifting the front of the body up. And then relax to allow the back of the body to sink back into the mat. Take your fingertips towards the bottom of the mat. Leave your head where it is if that's what you prefer today. Or expand the tummy on the inhale, breathing in. Chin to chest, peeling the upper body off the mat. And maybe you want to lift your right leg. Keep breathing into the tummy. We're aiming for the sides of the belly to be soft. See how mine is squidgy? That's what you want. Swapping it over. And banana stretch. We're bananaing to the right. So left leg goes over to the right. Bum presses down into the mat. Squeeze the thigh to the side ribs. Create that resistance. Leave your left arm here if that's what you need to do today, or try sweeping your left arm across the body to lengthen into the fingertips, looking towards the left armpit, and breathing softly and gently into the left side of your abdomen, particularly the lower left side of the abdomen, where you can feel that tension in the hip flexor. And bringing your left arm down, gently turning your head, bringing the left thigh back to your chest. Keep your thighs as close to the chest as you can. You're either interlinking your hands or bringing your arms out to the side if that's what you find more comfortable. And press the shoulders and the elbows down. Little bum shuffle. So bum shuffle to the left. Squeeze the thighs close and feel as if you're going to get your knees to the right armpit, but make sure that left shoulder and both elbows are pressing into the mat. Back to the first position. So bum to the right. Squeeze the thighs close. So we're pressing the elbows down, keeping the right shoulder on the mat. Back to the first position. One more each side. Last one. Back to the first position. Pop your feet on the mat. Lift the pubic bone. Bring the chin in. No need for the arms to be ramrod straight. You know, you can think of them as nice soft spaghetti arms, all right? So right arm up. looking to the left, and press the left side of your head down. Relax. Bring the right arm down. Bring the left arm up. Look to the right. Gently press the right side of your head down. Bring the left arm down. Let's do one more each side. So right arm up, looking to the left. Right arm down. Left arm up, looking to the right. And left arm down. Lift the pubic bone. Keep the arms down by the side. Press the feet into the mat, focusing on the pubic bone. Visualize as you inhale your pubic bone trying to make its way towards your chin. Notice all those little muscle activations in and around the pelvic floor, and you should feel the front of your hips starting to lift. Same thing, but we won't be turning the head this time, and the arms might be a little bit straighter. So when you're ready, right arm up, lengthening into the fingers, right arm down, left arm up. I'm having a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction. Left arm down. One more each side. Right arm up. And right arm down. Last one. Left arm up. And left arm down. Come down joint by joint. So use your feet for strength. Keep the pubic bone lifted. And we're going to roll from the upper vertebra to the lower vertebra. It's as if all of those joints are moving independently of the ones either side. Now once your bottom lands, we'll do one more sit up and we'll be coming up for the standing part of the practice. So thighs to the chest if you can, balls of the feet to the ceiling, fingers to the bottom of the mat, and stay here or expand the tummy on the inhale, peel the upper body off the mat, and some of you might be able to lift your tailbone. Keep breathing into the belly. Now obviously if it doesn't feel comfortable to roll up from here, I don't want you doing that. You can lie down, roll to the right side, come to sitting and then standing in your own time. You might feel comfortable rolling up just to sitting. You might be able to come all the way up. Look at me. Gosh, that's a bit embarrassment, isn't it? All right, so have your feet about hip width apart. Bend the knees. Take the arch out of your back by pushing the groins forward. So pubic bone lifts and round out the back. So follow me as best you can, but really anchor the feet first. So Tadasana means it's mountain pose, and we want to be strong and firm in the body. All right, so that means we really anchor the feet, feel as if we're stretching the mat apart with the feet. And if we tilt the weight forward, the toes grip, and relax the belly, extend out through the crown of the head. Now just follow as best you can. I just heard my son come in, so if he bursts into my room, I'm apologising in advance. You can keep doing this variation or follow me into the more challenging one. This is the last one, and we're going off to the side for 2. Center. Other side. Center. One side. Center. Last 2. Now remember, we changed momentum a little bit. It's a bit tricky. Two. last two. Back to the first position. Five. Last one. Like a cuddle. Keep your head in one position. Last one. Back to the first position, start again. And 5. Last one. Last one. And 5. Last one. So either stay in this position or interlink your hands, shoulders down, arms back. And you can stay on flat feet or come up, bend a little bit or come down further. Be really careful for your knees. And either a baby forward bend or come all the way down if you can. If you feel comfortable, only do what you feel comfortable doing. Easier variation of the next exercise is palms into calves. The harder one, you cross at the wrists, take your hands through, hold on to your left shin with the right hand, right shin with the left hand. Make sure your knees are bent and create a bit of a scoop. So it's like you're scooping your bottom bones towards your heels. It's like you're gently pushing your armpits towards the back of the mat. And relax. Think about how you're going to come up, not from your head, not from your chin. Lower the sitting bones, lift the pubic bone, tilt your weight forward, push the groins forward, keep the knees bent, keep the arch out of your back, bring the arms up so that your bum isn't sticking out. Let's try the balance vinyasa that may or may not be a balance. When you're ready, like a swim, left leg back. 1, 2, 3. This is the last one. Simple, harder, challenging. Warrior 3. Simple, harder, challenging. And left foot to the floor, leaning back, simple. Oh, sorry, I'm wobbly. Harder, challenging. Out to the side. Half moon. Lift the pubic bone. Simple. Harder. Challenging. Whoops. Warrior 3. Twisting half moon. Warrior 3. Now you can go straight into the last pose as a balance, bringing your thigh to your chest, or follow me. Right leg back. This is 3. This is the last one. Warrior 3. Right foot down. Simple, harder, challenging. Out to the side. Half moon. Go straight into it if you want. Simple, harder, challenging. Warrior 3. Twisting half moon. Warrior 3. Now you can bring that left thigh straight to your chest to go into the last twist, or follow me. Karate Kid. Lovely. Going over to the left with our energy balls first. Okay, so it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Simple. Harder. Left toe tip forward. Now, I see this pose is tricky because it never really looks right when most people do it. It's not this. Take the arch out of the back. Yeah? See, that's flat. Lean back a little bit, but take that right arm into that left-hand corner. Okay? Now we feel like we're going to push our pubic bone towards our right foot. This is really worth practicing this pose because it's a really good stretch and you can feel your core muscles working. Leave your toe tip on the floor or lift. Pop the foot down any time, or you could work towards the next pose, which is obviously a very tricky one. So you could hug that left thigh to the chest, just wrap to the side rib, sorry. Wrap the right arm around. Maybe that's it. You could pop that left foot back on the floor, or you try the same with this left arm. And pop the left foot back in the first position. Are you ready? We go 1, 2, a bit slower this time, 3, 4, left arm is up, there's the energy ball, left leg goes back, side angle pose, push the front sitting bone forward, squeeze the front heel to the left side, maybe take the left fingertips into that corner. So it's the same thing that we were doing in that the side balance that we were just doing, the ribs want to stick out, but I want you to scoop forward. Okay, maybe take your fingertips towards the floor. That's harder. Now, if you touch your abs here, how firm are they? Well, if you take your hand to the floor, suddenly that switches off a little bit, you can see. Yeah? So you want to work your core muscles, take your hand off the floor. You have to build up to it sometimes. Let's go into the warrior two. Belly to the back of the mat. Check when you look that you can see your right big toe. Let's go into the lunge. You can bring that back foot a bit closer if you want. So we're going to bend the back leg, lift the pubic bone, and just gently engage that left glute. That means it'll be a little bit firmer. Breathing in all the way forward. Easy, harder, challenging. Pop the foot down. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right toe to your foot. Let's try this again. So you push that right sitting bone forward. See, I'm leaning back, and then the left arm takes me into that forward bend, pubic bone to the left foot. Can you see? There's no arch here at all. My bum's not going that way. It's going towards the front of my mat. Leave the right toe tip on the floor or thigh to the side ribs. Take it to the floor anytime you like, or give it a hug. Maybe wrap the left arm around. Maybe try the same with the right arm. Pop the right foot on the floor. Unless you're a ninja, of course that right foot can stay in the air. Are you ready? It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got the right arm lifted. There's the energy ball. Right leg goes back. We're in side angle pose. Push the left sitting bone forward. Squeeze the left heel to the right side. And here, where your chest wants to stick out, I want you to bring your ribs in. Imagine you're doing a cat pose. A rounded back cat pose on the floor. Maybe your left hand goes to the floor. You want to see how that's working your core muscles? Use your right hand. Fingers on the floor, goes a bit softer. Hand off the floor, goes a little bit firmer. You get the idea. Balances are really good for your core. Warrior two. Lengthen between the fingers, ribs in, belly button to the back of the mat. Checking to see you can see your left big toe into the lunge. Bring the back foot closer if you want to. Bend the back leg, lift the pubic bone. Gently engage that right glute. And then when you're ready, breathing in all the way forward. Easier, harder, challenging. Very good. Gosh, all the wrong chop today, didn't I? When you're ready, like a swim. Left leg back. Simple, harder, challenging. Now this, for this pose, this leg just has to be straight. It doesn't have to be high. So take it closer to the floor if it's bent. Just try and keep it off the floor for as long as you can, or even if it's your toe tip, just so that all the weight's on the back foot. Pop the right foot down, warrior three variation. And left foot about 1 meter from the front foot. I'm pushing forward with my front sitting bone and backwards with my left sitting bone. Lift from the pubic bone. Are you ready? Make dinner. And serve it. Easier, harder, challenging. Keep pushing out through the back foot. Let's try Trikonasana. So I'm going to drop this right arm, but I might hold on a bit higher if I wasn't feeling so flexy. Soften this left shoulder like spaghetti. Bring the left arm forward, then lengthen into the fingers, and then with your ribs in, belly to the ceiling again. All right? Now again, if you want to work your core muscles, you could take that hand off the floor, because what you're doing is resisting gravity. Resisting gravity creates weight bearing, okay, without using weights. Back into that forward bend. Weight to the front foot, stay or lift the back leg. Could be little, could be a lot. Karate Kid position. Simple, harder, challenging. your hips should be starting to feel better, a bit looser. Second side. Right leg. Easy, harder, challenging. It has to be straight. It doesn't have to be high. Try and breathe into the belly, relax. And warrior 3. Anchor your right foot. Square your hips. You're pushing back sitting bone to the right one to the back foot, front sitting bone to the front foot. Lift from the pubic bone. Get the dinner ready. Trikonasana, soft right shoulder. Lengthen into the fingers, belly button to the ceiling. Imagine you're doing that rounded back cat pose. And you want to make that more challenging. Left hand off the floor without sinking. You're resisting gravity. Back into that forward bend. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. Leave the back toe tip on the floor or lift the back leg a little bit or a lot. And karate kick to finish. Beautiful. One more standing position when you're ready. Like a swim. Left leg back. 1, 2, 3. Number 4, we're going to go into warrior 3. Into the lunge. Round out the back, breathing in, twist to the right side, lift the belly to the ceiling. You could drop if you want to, left fingertips or back knee to the floor. Otherwise, upper left arm pushes into the right thigh, resist back, or harder variation if your body allows. Don't force anything. Holding onto that energy ball again. Give yourself a cuddle, YogaSphere. Heels to toes. Bottom bones to heels, elbows back. And cocktail to the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left. Energy ball 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This gets us to the front of the mat. Into the crisscross, just adjusting that right foot. Simple, harder, challenging, and with the legs. Simple, harder, challenging. Karate kick position. Last one. Right leg back. 1, 2, 3. Warrior 3. Into the lunge. Energy ball. Breathing in around to the left. Belly lifts. Again, you could take the back leg and the right fingertips to the floor or palms together, pushing upper right arm into left thigh, resisting back. Trickier. And YogaSphere. Over to the left. Over to the right. Over to the left. Over to the right. Energy ball. This is number 4, going to the front. And crisscross, adjust that left foot. Simple, harder, challenging. Simple, I'm balancing on the left foot now. Harder, and obviously you can make it as challenging as you like. Untangle. And last gadget stand, interlink, stay or and you can adjust this forward bend, make it a standing forward bend if that's what you need to do. You don't have to have your hands on the floor ever if that's what you don't want, if it doesn't feel comfortable. You could walk your hands forward or use a prop, even a chair. For those of you who are a bit more flexible, you can walk your hands between your feet, let your head relax. Try not to let your legs collapse or your feet collapse. Push into the outer feet. Grip with the toes. Imagine you're trying to get your heels a bit closer together. Bend the knees a little bit, even if you're very flexible. Then you know you're allowing yourself to relax if these shoulders start to touch your ears, because that's gravity again, isn't it? And if you're like this, you're resisting gravity, which is okay sometimes, but maybe for now, for the sake of this exercise, we could allow gravity to help us traction our neck and our upper spine by using the weight of the head in this position. Let's twist, walk the hands forward, grab the mat with the left palm, pop the right hand on the belly and round out the back. Just check it's soft in there. It's really hard to move the spine when there's all this tension. Makes sense, doesn't it? Hard to bend something that's really, really tight. So breathing in, belly to the right. Just take the right arm out to the side rather than flipping it up. Use your left palm to twist the belly. See, my head hasn't changed position. Not consciously. Pop the right hand where the left hand is. Left hand on the belly, round out the back. Soft belly. Breathe in, navel to the left, left arm out to the side. Use the right hand to twist. So you want to get movement in the trunk. And bring the left hand down. So we're going into cat pose. You can just go into cat pose or spring yourself into cat pose. I'm going to go this way though. Alright. You can do this next exercise in, sitting on a chair or having a bolster here, whatever you need to do if your knees don't like being in this position. So we're coming up maybe here, but do what you can. Take the arms behind. So broaden the palms, stretch into the thumb pads, and apparently this is very good for your lung meridian. So it might help your nose clear a little bit. And then roll your shoulders all the way in. Squeeze the hands into fists. I think this is small intestine. Alright, so meerkat position. Looks like that. Elbows in, chin to the throat. Close the eyes and really slow it down. Check for tension in your neck or your belly. And, most importantly, don't do anything that doesn't feel comfortable or you're worried is going to create another problem. Alright, so chin to the throat without letting your head drop forward. Soft abdomen. Little breath in. Turn your head, I was going to say your belly, turn your head to the right side with your chin down, and then you lift your chin a little bit, but imagine behind your closed eyes that you're stretching your gaze towards your right inner ear, and with the chin down. Go to the other side, little breath in. So once you're looking over your left shoulder, you can lift your chin a little bit and stretch your gaze around as if you're looking in your left ear. Great exercise for your eyes. You can do this before you go to sleep, maybe if you forget. Don't do it while you're driving though. And then drop your head around to the right. Same thing, look towards the right ear. And down. Over to the left and up. And stretch the eyes. So you can, when you're practicing on your own, come back to the center, you can go up and down and almost like you're going around a clock face. We've done that in class before. And it helps to relieve that tension that you have in your eyes, especially if you're staring at a screen all day. Shoulders in, bring the arms up, lean back. Grab the mat, spread the fingers, press the fingers down, lift the palms. And let's press little fingers down and then the ring finger, index finger, middle finger, do it again. And let's stretch the thumbs, because I always forget about these, not always, but until they start hurting me. And when I do these, I go, that's why that's hurting me. It's because I haven't done these exercises for a while. So, like you're trying to get the thumb and the index finger to do the splits, pushing the fleshy bit down, pulling the thumbs to the outer edges of the mat. And you know, if it hurts, you probably need to do it more often, like I do. All right, so then we pull the thumbs like we're being thumb printed, but we can roll it to the inner thumb, to the outer thumb, and then we get, oh, feels interesting. All right, let's take our fingers or the right hand, this is towards the right knee. Now I'm going to go in a bit, so imagine there's a little clock here, and my fingers are going to go over there just slightly towards 7 o'clock. You might be able to do that, you might not, doesn't really matter if you can't quite do that. Lift your body weight away from the floor, pop the left hand on the right hand. Now this inner elbow, we're going to roll it in an anti-clockwise direction, but I don't want to be here, I want to lean back slightly, and as I said, I want to lift my body weight out of my wrist. I don't want to sink into my wrist. Okay, but what I do want to feel is that something is happening here. That's it, give it a shake, second, or the other hand, because there's only two. This time it's going, what's there, 5 o'clock. All right, but that's okay, 6 o'clock is good too. Right hand on the left hand, lift your body weight away and roll your inner elbow in a clockwise direction. Oh la la, nice. Relax. How does that feel? Oh, that's a bit better. Rounding out your back, bring your left arm if you can over to the right side, pop the head on the floor, chin in, or use a block, press the right palm down, pull the left shoulder as if you're trying to get it back to the other side. It's like you're trying to escape. Now you could leave your arms in that position, you could take your hands into prayer, or you could gently lengthen into the right fingers. Now that is not to be confused with this. All right, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Back into cat. Round out the back, little breath in, right arm under. Head on the floor, chin in. Feel like you're pulling the right shoulder back. And maybe you're just going to stay here, pressing your left palm down, or you take your hands into prayer, or you gently lengthen into your left fingertips. Back into cat. Lovely. Chaturanga, if you don't fancy it, lie in your tummy now. Stay in cat if you want the easier variation. Plank pose if you like the whole thing. Looking forward, shoulders over the wrists. Elbows to the side, ribs coming down like an ironing board. Hover if you want to. You know you can do it, cat. And lie on your tummy. And hopefully you're not having more wardrobe malfunctions. So roll your thighs in. Shalabhasana variation. So hands in fists. Pull the elbows to the hips, push the shoulders and the armpits down, and maybe it feels better for some of you if you just gently press the navel into the mat as well, and that engages your bum muscles and maybe stops your back getting niggled or feeling niggly in the niggly bit. All right. I don't know if you can hear my son out there, but he's yelling for some reason, talking to his friend on the whatever it is, iPad. I'm not sure why he has to yell, but anyway. And relax. All right, we're going to stretch out these forearms. Left knee out to the left side, push the tailbone down, grab the mat. Right arm first maybe. You internally rotate the right shoulder, thumbs on the right, so check. Make the arm long, press the arm down. Take the fingers as if towards the ear. Use your left hand as if you're trying to lift your chest. It might be enough, or you could try fist with that right hand. You could take your left toe tip behind. But what you don't want is that feeling that your arm is going to detach itself from your body. Not useful. God, I wish you would stop shouting. Back to the first position. And second side, right knee out to the right. Press the tailbone down, grab the mat. So this time the left arm, so we internally rotate. So when you have a look, your thumb's on the left side, should be. Make the arm long, press it down, maybe take the left hand into a claw. Little push with your right hand, Maybe you want to add on, take that left hand into a fist. Possibly you take that right toe tip behind. Sorry, everybody. Back to the first position. Oh, that does make my shoulders feel so much better. Okay, let's try Dhanurasana. If you don't fancy it, you can rest. You can do this one again, or you can just stick with the easier versions that we, go into before we do the whole thing. All right, so chin in, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Arms down by the side, fingers on the floor, toes to the outsides of your mat. Try and lift your thighs and your knees away from the floor. And this is enough to create firmness in the back of your body. All right. Now, if it feels okay for you to bring your feet to your bum, drop your thighs, bring your feet to your bum. And maybe lift the arms off the floor. And without lifting your chin, you lift your chest. Okay, so then you can feel your back muscles working, but that should be fine for most people. If you can hold your feet and it still feels okay, create resistance by imagining, I can never say that properly, that your feet are trying to get back to the floor, but you're trying to pull them towards your bottom as well. And what that should give you is a feeling of getting some length in the front of your body. And that's useful because most of us spend our day in the opposite position. Okay. Now, if you feel absolutely fine when you practice this pose and you like it, do whatever you want. But what you don't want to feel the next day is a horrible squishy feeling in your back that was created or caused by practicing this pose. If it's not the right pose for you, don't do it. We're all tense in the shoulders and it means we may over arch the lower back to get into it. So relax, relax, soften. So we're going to worm into the kneeling, stretching forward position. We're going to do the variation that's a little bit more accessible. So your forearms or elbows are close to the chest and your hands are probably close to your nose. Push your shoulders down towards your hips, away from your ears. We're moving from the pubic bone. Don't lift your chest, don't lift your chin. You don't need to see it, you just need to hear it and think about it. Pubic bone to the chin, or if you want to have a look first. All right, we're not arching the back. And maybe your forearms stay here, but if there are no issues with your shoulders and it feels fine to lengthen your arms, let's use them to traction the spine, which is getting crushed. Really, every day, gravity, lifestyle, and we want to alleviate those issues. We can't change things, but we can stop them getting worse, and we can counter them a little bit by doing things that are opposite. So shoulders to ears, spread the fingers and press the hands down the way that you did before when we were stretching the hands. Bring the chin to the throat, lift the back of the body up. Feel as if you're trying to get your bottom to your heels, but at the same time, you're trying to get your fingers to the top of your mat. Breathing into the belly. Oh, it feels so nice. Now, if you prefer just to stay here, breathing and lengthening, that's fine. Otherwise, we've got another exercise that can help to release the shoulders, a bit more intense. So you drop the forearms, spread the fingers, and come up, pushing your bottom bones quite firmly towards your elbows. We don't want these shoulders hunching, so take them away from the ears and stretch that space between the forearms. You can use a block. If you have a look at those L shapes between your index finger and your thumb, if your hands keep doing something like that, you could pop a block there to stop that happening, and it just gives you that sense of what you're looking for, that space between the forearms. Now this is enough to stretch your shoulder blades, work your core muscles. For ninjas, you might like to try the dolphin pose, but notice I'm going to take my weight back, take my head towards my knees, then come into it. So lifting the body weight up, stretch the space. rest, or non-injury, come into forearm balance, or forearm plank, I should say. Kneeling and stretching forward again. Same as before, lengthen the spine, press the palms down. Stay here, or we're going to go into down dog, but let me just briefly show you the easy version of the down dog vinyasa. It might look like this, like that, and like that. All right, so you could do that one if you wanted to. Otherwise, come into down dog proper. So armpits down. Use your fingers, not just the bony, niggly bit of your wrist. Chin to the throat. Shift the weight to the right foot. Lift your left leg if you can. Pop the left leg down, or try coming into Vashisthasana, the half plank, which looks like this, or left foot behind, right knee to the floor, and Parikasana looks like this. Back into down dog. Second side, lifting right leg if you can. Rest, or left palm forward, Vashisthasana if you can. Otherwise, right foot behind, left knee to the floor, right arm forward. And last down dog. Okay. Now if you want to, you can drop your knees to the floor. We're going to come into sitting. I just want to show you, I'm not sure I've mastered this, but I want to show you how this next bit could flow. It may not flow when I do it, but it's kind of, you know, aspirations maybe. All right, so I'll show you how we might flow into the next bit, you know, if we practice. It might look like that. Because we're doing Baddha Konasana. Remember that? Let's do the easy version though. But that's just to give you something to keep you busy maybe over the Christmas holidays. All right, so on your forearms, shoulders down, right leg straight. Lift up slowly and take that right leg out to the right. And left leg. And let's try Baddha Konasana, shall we? See how it feels. And we're going to get down on the floor and do the last part of the practice. Okay, so if you need to put a warm something on, put your warm something on, and then we can go straight into a relaxation. Okay, so let's go into constructive rest position. Take the right leg straight. Slowly bring the right leg up, and we're going to do some circles. We're going in a clockwise direction. And we're going into happy baby. So this is happy baby, remember? And you hug your left thigh to your side ribs. Now that's enough possibly, but we might do the add-ons, okay, if you enjoy that experience that you get from the resistance variations. It's useful. So you hold on to your calf, your ankle, or the outside of the right foot. Thigh to the floor, but it's like your foot's trying to get to the ceiling. Armpit needs to be firm, so push the elbow forward, get that happening. And what we want to give it is 100%, but it's not effort. It's not effort, it's 100% focus. And then we let go by 98%. And what we're left with, you should be able to use to keep our attention. If you want to do a slightly harder variation, if your body allows, let go of your right leg and try and straighten it by itself, or even if it's just a little bit more. Now the right arm on the inside, and you've got to push the arm into the leg and the leg into the arm, and then you relax. The leg goes a bit further. Try again. Now, you either go back to that easier pose because it feels more comfortable, or you can support your right leg here, or you could hold on to your right big toe. And what I want you to be left with is that feeling that you have reached, or you found your sweet spot. The sweet spot is where the yoga is at. Okay, so people say, oh, I've got yoga injuries. Nobody injures themselves practicing yoga. They're not practicing yoga when you injure yourself because you've lost that connection with your body, and your ego and ambition came into it. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of this. Of course I am. But let's not call it yoga when we injure ourselves, because we lost it somewhere along the line. Somewhere in there. Anyway, let's not call it guilt. Let's just say we're human and we're all susceptible to these things. Hug the right thigh, pop the right foot down, take the left leg straight and slowly bring it up. And we'll go anti-clockwise. And happy baby. Alright, you can hang out there if that's what you did on the first side, or calf, ankle, outside of left foot. Create that resistance. Remember, we want a firm left armpit, and that's just because it really will help to release the neck. If you take your hand there, just between your shoulder and your ear, those muscles should be soft. They're scalenes. So we overuse those muscles every single day. And this exercise, even though it looks like it's a groin stretch or whatever, it's going to help to release those muscles. Alright, so 100%. But I don't want to see that on anyone's face. I don't want to know that. It's all about the focus, not the effort. Relax it by 98. And you're left with sthira, sukha, attention, not tension. Add on if you want to, taking your left leg into a slightly straighter position, left arm on the inside. So it's a little push and relax. Try again, little push and relax. So you've got the option, you go back to the easier version, or you support your leg here maybe. You don't have to support it. You can hold on to your big toe. And remember, it's all about the sweet spot. Maybe you've all had that experience, not just with yoga, you know, if you surf or you've skied, you know, you have to find your focus. You start thinking, it all goes horribly wrong. And there's a sense of mastery that comes into it. You have to put the effort in so things can be effortless. Relax, hug the thighs, pop the feet on the mat, lift the pubic bone, chin to the throat, arms on a similar plane to your thighs. And if you want to, you hang out here. Otherwise, focusing on the pubic bone, again, like we did before, as you breathe in, feel as if you're trying to get the pubic bone towards your chin. So you're lifting joint by joint, vertebra by vertebra, but you're leading from the core, from the pubic bone. Be aware of all those little muscle activations in and around the pelvic floor. You'll notice if you try and lift on your pelvic floor, oh, it's done. You found the exercise that does the thing rather than just squeezing. Now what we can do as well is imagine we're trying to bring the heels a bit closer together, and that helps to release the groin a little bit more, the inner thigh muscles a little bit more. Expand the tummy as you inhale. Try and imagine all that accumulated tension releasing, softening. And put the arms down by the side. It's enough maybe, if it is, stay where you are. Otherwise, you can come out of the pose, or you can try this next one, or the last variation of bridge pose, where you shuffle onto one side, bring one arm under, and do the same on the other side. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. Press the backs of the arms down. Lift the chin. Breathe into the belly. When I say lift the chin, I should have confirmed or told you it's only about 1/3 of a millimeter. Everything is quite subtle, yeah? More is not necessarily more. Lower your bottom about 1/3. Release the right shoulder, release the left. And again, we're going to come down upper vertebra to lower vertebra. Imagine, if you can, your spine is like a set of escalator. It's one whole mechanism, but all those steps need to move separately. And if one step goes out of whack, the whole thing goes out of whack. And it stops moving smoothly, stops functioning. Once your bottom lands, just allow everything to soften, maybe just 2 or 3 seconds, let it settle. And then if it's more comfortable for you, again, one knee at a time to your armpits, bringing the arms in between the thighs, pushing the arms into the inner thighs and the inner thighs back into the arms, and relax. And then holding on to the shins, bring the knees a little bit closer without forcing, and push your shins into palms, palms into shins, and relax. So we'll finish the way we started. So fish pose, broaden across the upper back. Press the shoulder blades down, bring the chin in, relax the belly, and expand the tummy on the inhalation. It's as if you're lifting the belly, the chest, the collarbone up towards the ceiling. Relax, allow the back of the body to sink back down. Bring the knees together, pop the arms down, give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. And drop your feet to your mat. Turn your palms up. Extend gently into your fingers. 2% is enough. Just be aware of that tingly sensation. If you don't drop off easily, you can have your hands on your belly, but that's not most people. You leave your feet here or shimmy them out, let your knees drop together, or some of you might feel comfortable in Baddha Konasana, or if you're near a bed or a couch, you can put your lower legs over the couch or the bed. Going to do a few rounds of the dharana exercise that we've been doing. Dharana means concentration. So when you're thinking meditation and you want to know how to meditate, when people say they can't meditate, but you can, you just have to let go of the idea of meditation being, a thing that you do where you just sit and do nothing. You can walk down the beach and crunch the sand and be in the moment and do your meditation that way. You can do a yoga practice like we just did without someone like me talking, just follow the practice or create your own movements. That's a meditation. Okay, so giving yourself something to do, and often it's a repetitive thing, that's your meditation. So meditation is really the art of doing something that's not that interesting, but staying focused. So let's focus on the left nostril. Just visualize, if you can, either nice and slowly, and at the end of that you pause. And take your attention to that space, that pause, that betweenness, that space between your inhale and your exhale. What's going on there? And when you're ready to let go of the breath, follow it as if it's coming out of your right nostril. And at the end of that, again, you pause again and be aware again of that space. You see, we forget moments, little tiny moments between things. We remember the thing that we did, but we don't often remember that space before. But there had to be space before. There has to be at that space between the inhale and the exhale so that we can exhale. There has to be a space between that exhale and that inhale. None of these things happen without the space. So let's focus not just on the thing, but how did we get to that thing? How do we get into a pose? How do we get out of the pose? Same thing. We shouldn't just be considering practicing warrior pose or trikonasana. We should be focused on how we're getting into that particular posture, how we're getting out of it. That whole sense of mindfulness of it all, not just some bits. the next time you visualize your exhalation as if it's moved out of your right nostril, relax. Let go of any sense now of controlling your breathing and allow yourself to soften into complete rest. If you're happy in the posture that you're in, no need to change it, but if you do want to shift into another position, do that as quickly and as unfussily as you can. And continue with that idea of dharana, of giving yourself something to be aware of, something to focus on. And let's focus on softness in the body, softness in the mind. Let's see if we can just create a little bit more access with that right brain. So we've got all this left brain activity that creates a bit of tiredness, maybe overthinking, over-analysing, over-organising, overthinking. So let's just see if we can try and make friends with that right brain. Let's see if we can connect a little bit to a bigger picture. It's not necessarily just about us, but it's also about how we are interacting with the world around us. So just being aware of our body and the space that it's inhabiting. Being aware of that feeling of connection. How is the ground below us supporting us? How is the air in the room that we're in keeping us alive? So just being aware of a little bit more wholeness, maybe, rather than just that ego-centric stuff that we tend to get caught up with. If you'd like to relax for a little bit longer, you can mute or switch off this recording now. Otherwise, I'm going to take you through the last part of the practice. I'm going to take you through the visualization exercise. So let's just start by focusing on the lowest part of the belly. So around the pelvic floor, pubic abdomen, base of the spine. Just really become aware of that part of your body. And then take a little sip of air into the lower belly and sense that whole area becoming warm, feeling spacious, feeling nourished. And then follow your breath into the main part of your belly. Just feel the belly lifting up towards ceiling, away from the spine. And visualize, if you can, the whole of your digestive area, all of those important organs, the system of nerves that surround those organs, that sometimes known as the feeling brain. In Chinese philosophy or traditional Chinese medicine, the belly is known as the dantian. Dantian is the same word, they use the same word for brain. So your belly brain. Japanese philosophy, it's called the Hara Center, which translates to mean the place between heaven and earth. And in yoga we say the Kunda. And in chakra philosophy, the navel area, or the solar plexus area, is called Manipura, which means city of jewels. So make no mistake, this is your power center. This is your power center. And it's governed by your relaxation response. So just see if you can allow this whole area to feel warm, to feel nourished, to feel spacious, and importantly, to feel free. Follow your breath into the chest, just feeling the ribs lifting out of the waist. And this time visualize your heart, your lungs, and the whole of your circulatory system working together, moving that blood and energy around the body and bringing oxygen into your cells. Just focusing on the throat. If there's tension in the throat, allow the throat to soften and resolve to always speak your truth from your heart. Follow the breath through the throat to the crown of your head, just pausing to observe for a moment sensation at the crown of your head. Now when you're ready to exhale, just see if you can follow that not just as a feeling of softness and release in your muscles and your bones, but also with that sense of allowing, that sense of being. So left brain takes us into either the future or the past. But the right brain can really help us be in the present, and that's where we want to be right now. So as you exhale, just see if you can get that sense that everything is in its place. Follow that thought and that idea, if you can, down the back of your head, your neck, the upper back, across your shoulders, the middle back, lower back, across the top of the pelvis, buttocks, the tailbone, and down through each of your legs, heels, and out through the tips of each of your toes. And in your own time, you can give your fingers and your toes a little bit of a wiggle, and you can squeeze your eyes and your eyelids together. You can bring your arms up above your head and give your whole body one last big stretch. And you can either bring up your left knee to roll yourself gently to the right side, or both knees, if that feels better. Give yourself excuse me, a little bit of a rock and roll yourself gently to the right side. And thank you for joining me for yoga in week 9. Namaste, everybody.